In one of the latest or the last work of Shakespeare, we can see the ship that is hit by the tidal Tempest. And those who are on the ship, they think that the ship will be completely destroyed by the wind, by the tempest. So there's a king of Naples and other very important persons on that ship. So they go looking for the captain. They want the mariners to work harder to save their lives. So they meet the bosun and they tell him, come on man, you should work harder, where's the captain? So he asked them politely, just go under the deck, you're not needed here, you disturb us, we need to work to save your lives and ours too. So they keep insisting, no, we want to be here, we want you to work harder. So finally he, of course, angry a little bit, he says, all right, you're the king, you are something very important. Okay, so use your power, tell this storm to calm down. So we don't have to work right now, but if you cannot do it, just go away and let us work. So this is what St. Peter faced in the gospel today. Maybe for a moment when he was walking on the waves, he thought that he was strong, but there was this final moment when he turned his head, his eyes from Jesus to the storm. And this is the moment when he went down, he started to drown. That was his problem. He turned his eyes from Jesus. He was not looking to Jesus anymore. So this is, I believe, what the gospel wants to tell us today, that every single time when we believe the storm, when we trust the storm more than Jesus, we go down, we start to drown, to die. What does it mean to believe the storm, to trust the storm? It means to believe that the storm is stronger, bigger, more powerful than Jesus. The storm is your suffering, your sadness, those things that can hurt you. Remembering those who hurt you, the words, the deeds that hurt you, and harboring, keeping them in your hearts. That means to trust the storm, to keep the storm into your life, into your heart. And always, when you keep the storm, which means you don't trust Jesus, you will go dying. You will go under the water. Your life will be much harder. Your life will be without the light, because down into the water, there's no light, there's no life, there's no air to breathe. So this is where we die. And we can ask, how is it possible that Jesus, reached out and helped Peter? How long is the hand of Jesus? Like 10 meters maybe? Can Jesus save me from any storm, anywhere I am? Of course. The hand of Jesus is not short. You can be anywhere and he can help you. The problem is not the length of Jesus' hand, but the problem is the length of your heart. How big is your heart? Is there space for Jesus? Is there space for hope? Which means, will you cry out like Peter, Jesus save me? Because this is the key to open the door of mercy. The door is open, but do you have a will to go through that door, to invite Jesus into your heart? So he can help you and he can save you from anything and anywhere you are. Why did Jesus let the storm to be around us? Why doesn't he say, okay, I don't want this storm to be anywhere. I just destroy the storm everywhere so that your life could be peaceful and easy? Why does Jesus let the storm to exist at all? Well, the answer is quite easy. Because the storm helps us to call to him. Because the storm shows us how little we are, how weak we are, how much we need help, how really weak we are without help of Jesus. So the storm is really a grace, I'd say very painful grace, a grace that many times would like to get rid of, but anyway, this is a very very big grace for us, the storm. And also the storm shows us if we at all have love for Jesus, if we trust him, and how big is this love, this trust. So the storm is like the exam that we should pass, and it shows us, hey, is your heart really capable of giving space for Jesus, for giving itself totally to him? The storm will give you the answer. It will give you the mark. It's A? Hopefully. I don't know. We should wait till another storm to find it out. But there's also another thing that we should remember. Jesus is not in the storm. The storm is not the place, the home of Jesus. He uses it because he's the God. He's God. He's the Lord. So he can command the storm and he can use it for good, even if the storm itself should not be, is not good in itself. But Jesus, with his power, can use it. So in the first reading, we see Elijah, who is facing the winds, the storm, then the earthquake, and then the fire. But God is not there. God comes with the tranquil breeze. But who can find it out? Who can find God in that breeze? Only the one who can wait through the storm, the fire, the earthquake, the one who is patient. And the patience and that you can wait, that this ability to wait, that's the faith that's waiting for you, God, to come. You cannot say, God, I want you to meet you now, right now in this place. You're not to say this. It's God who decides. So he gives you storm. He may give you fire. Sometimes he can give you earthquake in your life. Are you still waiting? Are you still ready to meet him? Are you still ready to obey him? Anything happens? Really? So that's faith. So you're faithful. But we're not always faithful. Sometimes we hear the words of Jesus. Oh, how little faith you have. That's what he said to Peter. So we really should be patient because God comes. He doesn't really want to hide from us. He didn't give us life so that we should be alone. Not at all. He wants to be with us. He wants us to find him. But finding him, it's not easy. There is storm, there is fire, there's earthquakes in our lives. So say as we walk on the water with our faith and with our trust in Jesus, maybe we should, say, well, maybe that storm is not for real. Maybe I just say, okay, I don't see it. I just see Jesus. I trust Jesus. So maybe there's not the storm at all. Well, the second reading shows us that St. Paul is suffering. Actually, he feels a pain and sadness in his heart because of what Jews do. He sees that they do not follow Jesus, and this hurts him. This brings pain in his life. That's the storm that St. Paul is going through. But at the end of the second reading, he sees Jesus. He looks at him, not at the storm. The storm is not so important as Jesus for St. Paul. And he shows us that we can suffer, that we can have pain in our lives, a sadness. But still, we should remember that Jesus is the Lord. The storm is not your God. Your pain is not your Lord. The pain at the end will not prevail. Jesus will, but where will you be? Will you be with him? So that's important now, to follow Jesus, to look at him, to remember that this fear that comes with the storm doesn't come from him, from God, from Jesus. This fear that wants to separate you from him and to kill you at the end comes from the enemy, from the devil. And this is his work. And this storm is for real. This is the real storm, the real suffering, real pain. Just like the cross of Jesus was real, his pain was real, the death of Jesus was real. So we should be aware that there is the enemy who is like the lion who's groaning and roaring and trying to get us, to devour us. But we have Jesus, so we should be really with him, and his hand is stronger than anything else. So let us ask him, Jesus, give me real hope, real trust, real faith, so I may follow you wherever you go, be it the water, storm, earthquake, anywhere, and let me at the end find you.